You smelling? Are you in the garden? What's up, you guys? It's late August. I'm here to bring you an update on my garden. Let me show you what's going on. Got a huge raspberry patch here. Now these are all first year canes, so they're not gonna do anything. And that was my mistake. I've made a lot of mistakes with this garden this year, but I've also learned a lot. I cut these canes down at the beginning of the season thinking that that was how you got them to grow raspberries, until I realized only second year canes make raspberries. Now we're in my corn here. Now the corn, about a week ago there was a really bad storm, and the storm caused all of these to fall over, as you can see, and that's not the worst thing in the world, because frankly I was having a lot of air issues in this area, and I was getting a lot of mold as a result. You can see right here, ugh. This is a huge moldy corn cob. Here's another one. It looks like some type of alien thing. So I was having a lot of issues with airflow in the middle of the patch here. Here's a third one. And as a result, a lot of the corn in the middle was bad. And that's just mistake number one I made here. The second mistake I made was that I didn't pick any of this corn early enough. I didn't realize that it would all be ripe basically at the same time, which was dumb because I planted it all at the same time, so it was all going to be ripe within a week of each other. But I didn't realize that, so I didn't pick any of it. And I literally ate maybe like 3 corn cobs from here, even though I planted all of this. You can see Spot's having a good time. So all the time I spent laying this out was a waste for the most part, but a learning experience, and it looked cool. My neighbors were talking about it a lot. And we're still getting some squash, that's good. Yeah, you can see all of this corn. Has gone starchy. Basically none of it would taste any good at all right now. It's only for squirrels. And I don't know if I can harvest seeds from this. So if anyone knows if I can harvest seeds, let me know. Spot! He is having a great time. He doesn't normally get to spend any time in here because I didn't want him to kill any of the other plants in the undergrowth, like these squashes, which are still doing good. And all the beans, you can see, there's some bean flowers. These beans have been being eaten by these Japanese beetles. And I've just been kind of letting them do their own thing. But this is quite a beanstalk area. Look, they're coming all the way up. This one's leaning all the way over. That's all beans. But none of them have produced any actual bean pods yet. Got a pumpkin down here that is still connected on the vine. And then my sunflowers, I think, are slowly being eaten away by something. My herb garden with the marigolds has been doing great. These marigolds have gotten huge. I didn't actually even know the marigolds got this big. My lavender is still doing okay. I think it might need some nitrogen. Check this out. This was a basil plant. It's still half alive, but I let it go and flower, and then it's gone to seed. Flat leaf parsley here that's doing great. This is a tomato plant that I took a sucker off of someone else's plant, brought it home, rooted it and planted it, and it's fruiting. I've got a lot of tomatoes on the other side of the house that I'll show you. My rosemary is doing great. Bee balm, this has some type of powdery mildew, I think, or spider mites or something. I don't know why, but I wouldn't plant this again because it really bushed out and it started to shade out the oregano that I have down here that I was hoping to get more out of. Now this thyme is doing great, and this curly leaf parsley is doing amazing. In fact, I should cut this off and dry it. Chives are doing good, and then this is some type of daisy that was here. So I'd say this has been doing well. I'm gonna keep a similar setup for this next year. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it yet. Century plant's doing great. This is a bucket of failure for me. So in this bucket, I have a bunch of oversized pickling cucumbers. Now these cucumbers, as you can see, they're huge and they're all starting to rot. And that's because they were in my basement for a couple weeks, but I let them grow way too big. And then they turned yellow. Here's another one. They got huge. I mean, this is massive. So I think I'm just gonna compost them. Spot. I tried eating them. They taste fine, but I don't really eat cucumbers. I was planning on making pickles maybe next year. My mint here is flowering. This has been beautiful and smelled good, but it's now dying off because I'm letting it flower, which is fine. Here I've got some bush beans. I've been harvesting these consistently, and it looks like I need to do so again. They've been very good, very tasty. There's quite a bit here. I think they're Blue Lake bush beans. I don't know. I'll put in a caption what they are. They've been real good. This is a tomato plant that I just kind of let grow in this bucket. And then I have an aloe vera that I'm going to transplant for my friend. Let's go take a look at the other side. Alright, now let me show you what's been going on in my raised garden beds. This tomato plant is one of the biggest ones I've ever seen. It's basically got a tree trunk at the bottom. Comes all the way up and then branches off and comes all the way down here. And look at all of this fruit. These are really good too. Got another cherry tomato plant right here. And something's killing these slowly. I don't know if it's the season or if it's something else, but they're dying at the base. And as you can see, here's a bunch of tomatoes that squirrels have eaten that I'm just not sure what to do with. I think I might let them rot and then harvest the seeds, but I should probably do that in a more controlled environment. Here I've got a pepper plant that has yet to yield a single pepper, although it is flowering, so that's nice. More tomatoes. Banana peppers have been doing really good here. Jalapenos are doing really good here. So I think I need to grow more peppers. That's a basil plant. That didn't make it very far. Here are more jalapenos, more banana peppers. Another pepper plant that didn't yield anything yet. Same with this one and that one. Here we have a jalapeno that I can pick. Look at that. I bet that's hot. The variety of jalapenos I have, I got from a coworker of mine, and they're really, really hot. These are some Thai chili peppers. I'm gonna pick these too while we're at it. This is the milkweed that I decided to leave here, which got blown over by the storm and then colonized by these morning glories. Now this is interesting. These tomatoes are all one together, and I'm yielding some really nice tomatoes from them. I mean, it's not as pretty as a store-bought tomato, but I guarantee it tastes better. My other basil, which is still flowering. These, I believe, are poblanos, which I think I can pick. These zinnias have been doing well. These, I think they're daisies. They've been growing well. These are all the cucumbers that I had the issues with. One day they were like this big, and the next day they were like the size of my fist. It was bizarre. So I don't know. I might get some more. I mean, they're still flowering on the vine down here, but I don't know if I'll get enough to pickle. Now, I kind of let this whole garden get really weedy, which was dumb of me. But I had strawberries growing in here, and now there's nothing. And I'm going to pull this up and plant onions this year so that next year they'll be coming up. It's like carrots are flowering. So I might start picking these. Now the carrots have been pretty big. Let me see if I can find one here. That's a pretty decent carrot. See, here's what I'm talking about. Here's a great example. These cucumbers just get massive immediately. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't plant a garden. You should definitely plant a garden. Just know that it's not the easiest thing in the world, and plants grow on their own time span. It's very humbling. Plants will make you appreciate that nature does things on its own time, regardless of what you want, which can be really beautiful. Anyway, that's all I've got today for what's going on in my garden. A late August update. Feel free to comment below if you've had similar experiences with the cucumbers or with growing corn, or if there's anything else that you guys thought was interesting about this. I'd always love to hear tips and tricks. I'm always trying to get better. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.